What if I told you there were secret rules about writing fiction that no one ever tells you? They definitely exist, and if I had known them earlier, I would have saved myself years of writing crappy books that got rejected all over the place, and I would have been able to achieve my career a whole lot faster. And I'm going to share those secret rules in this video. The first secret rule is it has to be marketable. You can't write a book that nobody knows how to buy, essentially. You can create a brand new kind of soda, but if nobody knows it exists and you don't have a marketing campaign for it and you don't have a way to explain it to other people, nobody's going to buy it. People need to know what they're buying and why they want to buy it and what's in it for them. That's essentially what marketing is. What's in it for me? Why am I going to pay my money for this? Why am I going to spend my time reading this book? That doesn't mean that you're writing fluffy books that just fit trends. That's not at all what I'm talking about. I'm saying you're being strategic and intentional in the way that you are writing, in the way that you are putting together the entire package of your book so that it is marketable. Every book needs to fit under one of those little green signs in a Barnes & Noble. They have to know where to shelve it, first of all. If you can't pinpoint what genre of the book is pretty quickly and concisely, you're not going to be able to sell it to readers. There's plenty of books that have been able to cross over, like a country star crossing into pop. But if you look at the branding for people that do that, they are still creating a cover and back cover blurb and everything that suits their current audience before they start trying to cross over to another one. The second secret rule that nobody tells you is kind of an insult that I heard early in my career. When I first started out, I was writing romantic comedies for Harlequin, Berkeley, Kensington. I did a whole bunch of them. And somebody, actually more than one somebody, several somebodies, came to me and said, this is just a formula, right? You just keep following the formula of writing a romantic comedy and every book is exactly the same. No, it's really not. There is a structure to books that I talk about in this plotting series here. That is a predictable structure that readers do want to see. They want to see that there's a goal for the character to achieve. They want to see that things get worse. They want to see that climactic moment when the character is battling all of the forces that are against them. That's a structure. That's not a formula. Sort of like making chili. Everybody's chili recipe is a little bit different. The basics are there, but the formula to create something memorable and tasty is different for every single person that creates a chili. It's the same with your book. The structure, the basics are there, but the way that you put it together, the unique way that you write and tell your story, that is not a formula. The third secret nobody tells you in the beginning is that nobody cares. Yet. When I first started writing, I thought everybody wanted to know that I was working on this book because they would be so super proud of me and so excited and dying to know what happens. And listen, we all know that everybody else only thinks about you for like 5 seconds, and then they go back to thinking about themselves. While you're watching this video, you're probably not thinking about my next book to come out or what my career is doing. You're thinking about, how am I going to apply these lessons to my book? And that's good. That's what I want you to think about. I want you, however, to create a book that people will care about so that they will care about your next book. And where that comes from is not you. It comes from the character. I talk about this all the time on the channel, but still, lots of people don't do that. They create very surface characters. They don't create characters that dig down deep and face those demons that none of us want to face. And I get it, because I don't like that either. That's what therapy was invented for. But here's the thing. If you create a character that is vulnerable and layered and has issues and fears and rejection and insecurities and all of these other things, that's what makes characters human. That's what makes characters come to life. That's what makes people care about characters. There is a reason that Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz has been a staple character for decades. It's because we can all relate to that misunderstood teenager that just wants to run away from everything and get away from all the expectations and the mean people in her life. We all can relate to that belief that maybe we don't have courage, or we don't have a heart, or we don't have the brains that we need to go through life. Those are common, core, relatable concepts, and that's what makes something like The Wizard of Oz a staple forever and ever and ever. So when you're just talking about your book, a lot of people aren't caring. But when they can read it on the page and they can relate to those characters and connect with them on an emotional level, then they care. The fourth secret nobody told me in the beginning was that it's surprisingly easy to suck at this. I really thought I knew what I was doing when I first started writing, and I did not. I sucked. And I was writing along thinking these were great books. They were terrible, absolutely terrible. I mean, most of us can tell a story from beginning to end with a once upon a time and a happily ever after. But to make it multidimensional and layered is not surprisingly easy. When you really break down the books by your favorite authors, the ones that you look at them and you think, wow, I want to be this author when I grow up, you can see how complicated and layered their stories are. And if you try to emulate that, it's not as easy as it looks. That's the fifth secret. It's really hard to do a good job at this. It's really hard and difficult to write a compelling, interesting, unique book that keeps the reader on the edge of their seat. And it should be. Because if you're just skimming by, you're not delivering on the promise to the reader, and you're delivering a product that is not worth the reader's time. You should be sitting there thinking, how can I make this really unique? And man, I don't know if I can show not tell this. And wow, how am I going to create a great scene? How am I going to layer in more conflict? All of those things should constantly be running through your mind. Now, there's a fine line between getting stuck for months and months and months on the same page in this editing paralysis where you're not moving forward, and striving to be a better, stronger author. When you're striving to be a better, stronger author, you're watching channels like this one, you're reading how-to books like this one, and you are not taking the easy way out. You're really going in and digging deep and creating a compelling story. You are studying all the time what goes into an amazing book and learning for your whole life. You don't just write one book and say, I know everything I need to know and move on. I have been learning for my entire career, and I'm still learning. I learn as I teach you guys because I have to really kind of quantify what I do and how I do it in order to talk about that on this channel. So I'm always learning and hopefully always bringing you guys a lesson that can really help you write an amazing book. So don't think that you're the only one that's struggling. I struggle. I really want every book to be better than the one before, and I sit there staring at the page for hours on end, just like you do. The real secret of being a successful author is persisting despite that. Persistence is 99% of the game. You have to persist and keep writing, whether anybody cares or not. You have to persist and keep writing, even though it's not that easy. You have to persist and keep writing and not create a formulaic book. You have to persist and keep writing and not give up on your story or yourself. And if it's hard, you're doing it right. If you have a question about anything writing related, drop it in the comments and I'll probably answer it in a future video. And in the meantime, I have a ton of free downloads for you that are linked right below. And if you want to write really unpredictable books with hooks and plot twists, check out this video here. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe and like and share with other writers because sharing is caring. And I will see you on the other side of the page.